we are going to be taking a deep dive into everything you need to consider before you make that big move all the way to the East Coast. If this is your first time on the channel and you are interested in all things about the Northern Virginia real estate market and living here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that bell for notifications so that you never miss a video. So let's not waste any time. We're gonna just jump right into it. First is location. Northern Virginia is in a phenomenal location. Whether you are looking for the tranquility that you can find in western Loudoun County, or if you want to be right in the thick of things with the urban energy in Arlington and Alexandria, Northern Virginia has something for everyone. And we can't not mention that it is just minutes, in some cases walking distance, to Washington, D.C. Depending on where you land in Northern Virginia, you may be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour outside of the city, or as I just mentioned, you truly could be in walking distance to Washington, D.C. The culture, the museums, the events, there's always something going on. And I think something about the location of Northern Virginia that isn't talked about nearly enough. You are also nearby within a couple hours of the mountains and the beach too. So you're not too far from things that you might want to enjoy that Northern Virginia itself doesn't offer. They're really close by. You can make a weekend getaway out of it. Next is the cost of living, and spoiler alert, you might be pleasantly surprised, and I love being able to say that because let's face it, Northern Virginia is an expensive place to call home. But when you're comparing it to a lot of places in California, we are much more affordable, so it's kind of nice to be able to make that comparison. In California, average home sale price is $830,000, where at the time of this video in Northern Virginia, average home sale price is $675,000. So very big difference there. If we want to name specific cities, Fairfax is going to run you 35% less than housing in Los Angeles. And I know it really depends on where in California you are. The same will go for here. Some areas are more expensive than others, but across the board, if you compare Virginia to California, you are going to find that Virginia is far more affordable. Northern Virginia in particular, it's going to be about 15% less overall cost of living as compared to California, in particular in LA. Number 3 is the schools and education here in Northern Virginia, and that is a big draw for a lot of people. Whether you're moving from California or another area, Northern Virginia is very well known for its top tier school system, and from elementary all the way up to high school, there are some really phenomenal schools here with really high ratings. Of course, I'm always going to make the disclaimer that you need to do your own research and determine what's best for you and your children. But in general, Northern Virginia stands out with the school system. You have a lot of options. And if you're interested in private school, there are plenty of private options here as well. This next one isn't quite as serious as cost of living and the school system, but I think it's still important, and that is the food scene. Who doesn't want good food? You have no concerns when relocating to Northern Virginia on finding good food. Not only are there hundreds of dining options here, it ranges from just a little mom and pop shop, dive bar type scene to Michelin star restaurants. You really have so many different options for food and also types of food. Any type of food that you are craving, it will be within, I would say, anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. In many cases, walking distance, but if you land, say, in western Loudoun where it's a more rural setting, then you may have to drive just a little bit, but certainly not too far. And I would say that the food options are endless here. You would really have to be on a mission to try all of the different options that we have for food here in Northern Virginia. Next up is sports. Now, I know you're going to be leaving behind your Lakers, your Chargers, although I've heard they don't really have a great fan base right now, but your Warriors, your Kings. There's a lot of sports happening in California. Not to worry, there's a lot of sports happening in Northern Virginia here as well. I would say in the DMV, we have the Commanders as far as the football team goes. We also have the Ravens up in Baltimore. We have the Wizards, we have the beloved Nationals, and we have the Capitals. There is no shortage of sports going on here. And most recently with Dan Snyder finally selling the team, there's a lot of hype around the Commanders in particular. It's sort of a new era here and fans are embracing the team again and attendance is up in the games. And fans here in Northern Virginia and the DMV, there are great fans. They are committed fans because let's be real, sometimes we have some pretty rough seasons of sports, multiple seasons I'll say, and the fans are committed. They're there, they're showing up, they're cheering their team on. So you absolutely can take in some sports here in Northern Virginia depending on what you like. Now let's talk about the traffic, and this is another one that very rarely, I'm not even sure I can remember a time that I get to say that, yes, Northern Virginia traffic, it's terrible, but it is better than, say, Los Angeles or San Diego or San Francisco. So there's some good news there that a lot of times when people are relocating here, they're coming from another area where the traffic is just no comparison to ours. And you will be pleasantly surprised if you are relocating here from California, from most places, of course, not a blanket approach, but from most places, you are going to find that our traffic is better than California. But I will say, don't get your hopes too high because we definitely have our fair share of traffic, and commuting around here can be tricky and take up a big part of your day. So just keep that in mind. Next is diversity. And for me, this is something that I think makes Northern Virginia quite special. It is an area that celebrates different cultures, backgrounds, and traditions. And it's just an extremely diverse place to live. It's a melting pot here. And I've had a couple clients relocate from California, and I wanted to make sure I touched on this because both asked that question. They wanted to make sure that for their kiddos, they were moving to an area that's still as diverse as where they were coming from in California. And we absolutely offer that here in Northern Virginia. I think it's also reflected in the food scene here. You will see a lot of different cultures and ethnicities represented, and it's something that I truly love about Northern Virginia. You get to know people who aren't just like you and expand your way of thinking and learn different traditions, and I think it's really special. Last is the weather, and more importantly, the seasons. I know you have that amazing sunshine out in California, and there are times where I'm a little jealous of that, but we have 4 complete seasons here. So if you like a change in weather, Northern Virginia definitely has you covered there. Summer, it's pretty humid here. Gotta admit it, a little more humid than I prefer actually, but fall and also spring, absolutely beautiful weather. And the leaves in the fall in Northern Virginia, or even take a quick drive out to the Shenandoah and Blue Ridge Parkway, it is just breathtakingly beautiful. We also have winters here that may or may not get a little bit of snow. It really just depends. But from there, we also have winters that are a little on the mild side. We get kind of a mix, so if you really don't like super cold winters, just wait until next season. You'll have something different then. Northern Virginia certainly isn't going to be exactly like California, but I think that is kind of a bonus of a cross-country move. If that's the situation you're in or a decision that you're considering making, you wouldn't want to have the exact same thing if you make that massive move. So Northern Virginia, just know we have a lot to offer, and if you have questions about the area, you can just drop them in the comments right below there. Be sure to check out our other videos on Northern Virginia to learn more about the area. And until next time, I can't wait to show you around.